is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are NC.
Welcome to Kauffman Stadium for the Show Me State Showdown. It's the I-70 series between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physioc, Rex Udler with you. These two teams have met 90 times in the past. The Cardinals have won 51, the Royals 39. But it all goes back to state pride and maybe that little skirmish they had back in '85.
That's right. We'll never forget. I know they would like to, but still, the World Series here at the K. Look at Willie Wilson ripping off a base. You got a young George Saberhagen. The Cardinals and the Royals have been excited back then, but now we got two teams that are always in the postseason. They seem to find a way with the energy here at the K. This should be a real nice two-game series.
And we have excellent pitching matchups in the first two games at Kauffman Stadium. One of the best young right-handers, Carlos Martinez for St. Louis, Ian Kennedy, a veteran for KC, and then Waka against Vargas.
It's all about starting pitching. That's the currency in Major League Baseball. Let's see who can outdo who.
And offense will be key, and the Royals offense put together 17 runs yesterday when they split a doubleheader with Seattle. We'll talk the Royals next. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. The Royals split a doubleheader with Seattle yesterday. They almost had the most amazing comeback of the year in Game 1, losing that, and then they blasted the M's in Game 2, 9-1.
And with that win, they picked up a half a game on the Cleveland Indians, so it was good. But I'll tell you what, during that Mariners series, 6 runs per game, boy, that's awesome. You're going to win your share. How about the slugging? Slugging was awesome.
And as we take a look at our Toyota League leaders, Lorenzo Cain, last 10 games has been on fire.
And it's just in the nick of time. With Salvador Perez out, now they've got a bus driver. But if you notice anything of where these hits are going, all opposite field. That's what gets that average up and gets you ready to turn and burn on the power.
And Hud, he has a tendency of scoring runs. He's a run producer when you talk about 12 runs in those 10 games.
That's right, but they moved him up. Now he's hitting second. All he's concerned with, getting on base and scoring those runs, Fizz. So look, he doesn't have the pressure of trying to drive him in. Can't wait to see what he can do tonight.
And the guy in front of him has really been hot as well. That is Whit Merrifield. Will tell his story when we come back. For Whit Merrifield and our Kubota power stats. I mean, this is a young man who has provided power this year from the leadoff spot. Where's it coming from?
Oh, how about 9 eggs a day, Fizz, in the offseason? He worked on beefing up a little bit, mainly so he can handle the daily grind of playing baseball every day, but it's transferred into power. It's been nice to see.
And the all-time record for a second baseman held by Frank White. Now, Whit Merrifield has 13 home runs, with 12 playing second base, and he has just really been on fire.
Fizz, he's able to recognize his pitches now, and at such an early stage in his career in the big leagues. Now, he didn't hit a whole lot of home runs in the minor leagues, but he's figuring it out because he's confident, and he knows the team's counting on him to get on base, to start those innings, and help drive the bus.
And he's been one of the American League's best defensive second basemen as well. When we come back, we'll talk heavy doses of the fastball tonight from Carlos Martinez and Ian Kennedy. Joel and Monty will tell their story next.
There's your pitching matchup for the night. Carlos Martinez throws his fastball 57% of the time. Ian Kennedy 61% of the time. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Okay, so both guys have good fastballs. Kennedy's average fastball velocity 92. Martinez average fastball velocity 96. But how maybe do they use them differently?
Well, they're going to use them a little differently because Martinez, he's a guy that's going to throw his fastball. It's going to finish down more often than up. Ian Kennedy's going to climb the ladder a little bit. And also Martinez is going to use that fastball to set up another excellent pitch he has, which is his slider. He's got a slider the opponent's batting average is actually better against. But Ian Kennedy's a guy that we know those four-seam fastballs got actually two-seam life, but he elevates with intent quite frequently. So you're going to see Ian Kennedy probably be above the bats and below the bats. Martinez usually below the bats.
Well, yesterday the Royals had a doubleheader. Last time they had one of those, kind of wrecked the bullpen for a number of days and took the Royals a while to recover. But yesterday, thanks in part to Jacob Junis and Duffy grinding, Ned Yost said his bullpen is ready to go, full strength, and they are in good shape as we get ready to begin the I-70 2017 version. Biz and Hud back with the call next.
Is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. The I-70 series, just a 4-hour drive separate these two Missouri towns, Kansas City and St. Louis. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery here at Kauffman Stadium. Very pleasant evening, only 77 degrees in August. And Ian Kennedy will be on the hill. You see that opponent's batting average, that's 4th best in the American League.
That's right, 92 strikeouts, that's pretty good too. He loves that fastball. I'll show you what weapons he has for the Redbirds. Fastball, curve, slider, change. High percentage of fastballs. It's a 4-seam fastball that has 2-seam type movement away and down at times. Slider has been a good pitch for him, and curve, and he's mixing in more breaking stuff as the last few starts to keep him off his fastball.
Matt Carpenter will lead things off. He has an 380 on base percentage. And Matt has been one of their top players this year and really developing into a leadership role with so many young players in that Cardinal offense. First pitch is strike one. Not just a 247 hitter, though, Hud, but as a leadoff batter, an on-base percentage that's outstanding at .427.
Yep. Leads the team in walks with 75. Got to throw him strikes. Make him hit his way.
And he has always hit well in this ballpark. 21 hits in 47 times up for Matt Carpenter. One ball, two strikes.
Talked about the movement that Kennedy gets on this fastball. Watch it. It takes off. A lot of that is due to the grip, four seam, but also just the torque that he gets, the spin rate on the fastball. You don't hear a lot talked about spin rate on a fastball.
Well, he jumps on this one and drills it into right field for a base hit. Going for second. There's the throw. They've got a chance, and he's safe.
Carpenter, he rakes here at Kauffman Stadium. Coming in .447 average. He gets a hold of this fastball. Did Escobar get the tag on him in time? I don't know. That left hand of Carpenter's looked like it might have got on the bag. Let's see from a different angle. Did he come off the base? We can't tell from that angle either. Can't see the bag. Looked like his left hand got there before the tag. And they're not going to replay it. That's a leadoff double.
26th double for Matt Carpenter this year. 22nd hit at Kauffman Stadium in his career. Now Tommy Pham, who's been one of their igniters this year, he was called up on May 5th, and all he's done is hit. 314 average.
It's a good looking athlete.
And over the last month, he's even been hotter.
This guy has been in the system a long time. 06, his first year. It's a long time for sure. But they've stayed with him, and now the cream has risen to the top. He's starting to show his skills.
16th round pick in 2006 out of Las Vegas High School.
Pham with 2 strikes now. Try to do the best he can to get Carpenter to third base. Make a productive out if you're going to.
Came back inside with a four-seam fastball and locked him up on the inside corner.
Home plate umpire Mike Muchlinski, he got in there, gave him that inside pitch there, and that's a pitch that Kennedy will take, definitely. He likes to throw the fastball up in the zone just above the belt, and it worked that time. Royals forward around the horn defense. Alex Gordon, 42nd career game, most by any Royal.
Now Paul DeYoung. This is a guy who is hitting third in their lineup, and he is just a rookie, but he was named the July Rookie of the Month in the National League. Hit .298, 8 home runs in July, 15 home runs for a rookie shortstop.
This young man generates a lot of bat speed. Very versatile too. He's a versatile player. He's drafted as a third baseman. Plays some outfield. He certainly has showed some skills at shortstop, and that was a spot that was open for the Cardinals.
And he foul tips it into the glove. Held on to by Drew Butera, so there's 2 out now in this first inning with Carpenter still at second base.
Again, going to challenge hitters That's right down the middle, saying here it is. DeJong a little bit miffed why he didn't put that in play. It's because of the late life on Kennedy's four-seamer.
Now Jose Martinez, who had one of his best professional seasons as a member of the Royals organization. And the first pitch is right there for strike one. He hit .384 for Omaha Storm Chasers back in 2015, but the Royals really didn't have a place for him. And he understood the situation. The Royals really strong in the season they had him, 14-15 going to the World Series.
He's got a lot of moving parts, doesn't he?
I'll say.
Yeah, it's all about rhythm. It's about the hitter's rhythm. 6'7", 215. He's a tall hitter.
There's some guys you say they have a really quiet stance at the plate. Not Jose Martinez.
Yeah, no, he's moving it. There it is. And you know, a guy that tall, got long arms and legs. You know that if he gets some good leverage, he can really, if he gets extended on that baseball, he can hit nice gappers. So far, he's been a pleasant surprise with the 8 home runs.
Lifts it foul, and Kennedy staying with that fastball, even on a 1-2 count where he has some options.
And I can see some similarities between him and his father, Carlos. We were teammates with the Angels together way back when. And Carlos was a good, aggressive right-handed hitter as well.
Hit sharply. Moustakas has it. And a great job by Ian Kennedy after the leadoff double by Matt Carpenter. We'll come back with Whit Merrifield, Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Hosmer. A long way to watch the I-70 series between the Cardinals and Royals. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Whit Merrifield will lead things off, but one thing you'll notice, the Royals have really stacked their lineup with left-handed batters. 5 lefties in that lineup because Martinez is really tough against right-handed batters like Whit Merrifield and Lorenzo Cain. And there is Carlos Martinez. Solid numbers, 3.59 ERA, but not much run support. That's why he's 7-9.
Yep, it's not about the record necessarily. It's about really the stuff, and he's got tremendous stuff. You see the strikeouts he's got. He's got a fastball slider change, high percentage of fastballs, 57. League's hitting 272 off of the Royals. Love fastballs, but at times Martinez can be effectively wild. He's got 54 walks in 140 1/3 innings.
Yeah, his fastball averages 96 miles an hour and with great movement. There's Merrifield, who had a terrific series yesterday in the doubleheader. home runs in each game. 5 for 17 with a couple of home runs in that Seattle series.
Fastball slider. Whitley's never faced Martinez before. Sometimes he'll go up there and try to ambush the first pitch, but Martinez, you want to see what that fastball looks like. Oh, it's got some teeth on it. Good movement.
Right-handers only batting 188 off Martinez. He has allowed 17 home runs. That's 2 more than all of last season. Whit sends it foul. Stays 1 ball 2 strikes. Kane is next, who's been red hot. Just barely off the plate to even the count at 2-2. And then he waves at the slider that swept away from him and strikes out.
Cardinal defense, everybody knows the most feared catcher in the National League. That would be Yadier Molina, 8-time Gold Glove winner. He's good at everything. Calling game is probably his specialty. He's thrown out right at 34% of runners, which is excellent. Blocks the ball. Student of the game. Also, he'll throw behind runners when they're least expecting it. Anything to help his pitcher get it out.
Kane with a terrific Seattle series, 9 hits and 17 times up, and he knocks that one sharply to the second baseman Colton Wong, who throws him out.
Fizz, you talked about how tough he is against righties, but what I wanted to show was that, you know what, those home runs sometimes are susceptible for the long ball. So he's given up 17 home runs, righties 7, lefties 10. Couldn't make the difference this game here with Martinez towing the slab. The Royals have hit more home runs this year at this point than any other time.
137. They hit 5 yesterday. They're on pace for 202, which would shatter the 1987 franchise record of 168. Here's a guy who hit number 17 yesterday. A laser beam into the left center field seats, 421 feet.
Nice little change up there at 87 miles an hour. He's got a little Herrera in him, no question about it. Does Martinez. Heavy on the fastball. Hard changeup.
The Royals have seen him twice before. He has never allowed a run in 8 innings of work. In the air left side. Tommy Pham will make the catch, and the Royals are done in the first. To the second we go. 0-0 score here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. been amongst the sea of blue here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Game 1 of this 4-game interleague series, 2 in Kansas City, 2 at Busch in St. Louis on Wednesday and Thursday. Ian Kennedy now facing Yadier Molina, and he takes with low ball 1. 278 average. Last year he had 307. This is a guy who plays, it seems like, every day. A great defensive catcher, great leader for the Cardinals.
Like how Kennedy's coming out throwing strikes. 19 total pitches, 14 in the zone.
Pitch is short. Nice big hop for Escobar. 1 out.
What a nice first inning for Ian Kennedy. After Carpenter laced a double. Okay, that pitch was a little elevated, but Carpenter knows that he likes to throw fastballs up in the zone. Leadoff doubles, usually, if the team can manufacture, move him over and get him in, score a run in the first inning. Didn't happen. Boost. Stayed with that hop. That was a tricky hop. If that ball gets by him, they score the run. Nice pitching and defense.
And Kennedy looking for a bounce back game. He really had a poor performance at Baltimore on Tuesday, losing 7-2 and threw 92 pitches in only 4 innings, 50 in the first 2 innings. And here is Dexter Fowler back in the lineup, and he slams one in the gap. And Dexter off to the races, not stopping at second base, and he'll make it to third with a stand-up triple. So 2 balls well struck in the right center gap, 1 by Carpenter, now 1 by Fowler, who just came off the DL.
Yep, 5th triple. And you know, the ball was struck perfectly, well placed. It was in the air long enough, and then it just kind of hit the turf here at the K, the Trevor turf, and it just kind of plugged and bounced along. Just gave Fowler plenty of time to get his 5th triple. So again, Kennedy in a little bit of trouble here.
And the Royals will bring their infield in. Batter is Colton Wong. Wong had a very strong 2015 season, then was down a bit last year, hitting 240, but back up to 296 this year and playing second base every day and sharing the role a little bit with Jed Jerko. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
Last 6 games, though, he's been raking. It's at 391.
And he's been able to get that guy home from third with less than 2 out half the time, 50%. That'll get it done. Fowler will score on the sacrifice fly, and St. Louis takes the early 1-0 lead.
Kennedy loves that fastball up in that situation there. Maybe would like to see him go to a few more secondary pitches earlier, just in case they hit the top of the ball and the ground ball might have a chance to hit it at him. But he stayed up top, and like Carpenter, and the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals hit that gap on a high fastball, they're going to be looking up there.
Fowler just came off the disabled list today. He had a left forearm issue. Now Randall Grichuk takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Grichuk goes to center field and deep. Kane is back, still going back, and makes the catch and then bangs into the wall. Well, St. Louis seems like they're hitting Kennedy hard. A double by Carpenter, a triple by Fowler, a sacrifice fly, and then this drive that Kane runs down. Kolten Wong with a sacrifice fly that scored Dexter Fowler for the early 1-0 lead for St. Louis. And here is Melky Cabrera. He was acquired just before the trade deadline from the Chicago White Sox in a trade that Kansas City sent 2 minor leaguers. Now Martinez, first pitch. Struck foul.
Let's check out Arcia in the driver's seat. Melky, he's starting to heat up. Very nice to see the batting average over 400. It hits, doubles. The home run he hit yesterday was huge. Last 4 games, here he comes.
And he pulls this one to the right side. Wong will throw him out.
Little Adam ball.
Martinez, now 25 years of age, signed in 2010 at the age of 18, and immediately starred in the Dominican League, giving up only 5 runs in his first 59 innings. But his story rather interesting because he didn't first sign with St. Louis. As Mike Moustakas comes up with 1 out, nobody on. Strike 1. Carlos at first signed with Boston, but because of an inconsistency in his birth certificate, it was denied and he had to wait a full year to sign. But the story, quite frankly, Hud, is heartbreaking because it was his mother who passed away. Martinez and an uncle by the name of Matias adopted him, and that's what he signed by. And here's the pitch. So it really wasn't his fault. So Boston said, we won't sign him. And he had to wait another year, signs with St. Louis, and they said, we'll take him because he was wowing everybody.
Sure. That's got to be the Red Sox loss there. But sometimes those things happen.
He has Moose down in the count, 1-2. And that ball well struck. Deep right field. And gone! Number 32 for Mike Moustakas.
Moose, a little bit of giddy up in that trot. As that's an early homer, a slider. That slider sped up Moose's bat, but he was able to stay down through it. The bottom hand was more dominant than the top hand. That's why it didn't hook foul. Very nice, good, easy, smooth swing.
Now a former Cardinal and Brandon Moss coming up, who belted 28 home runs for the Cardinals last year, and Mike just 4 away from tying the record set by Steve Balboni. Moss to left field. Pham chasing it and will make the catch.
Moose's home run was 345 feet, and hitting velocity off the bat was 102. Exit velocity.
And there's the kid that caught the ball, a Chiefs fan and a Royals fan. He's got the Royals jersey on with the Chiefs hat, and now he's doing some photo ops for. I was acting like I'm going to drop the ball.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I don't see any gloves there. That ball coming in at 102, it's coming in hot.
Escobar going after some high heat. Pops it foul. Fine catch by a Royals fan. Got 10 rows back.
Royals typically aggressive, always. So nothing's changed against Carlos Martinez. They are looking for that heater, hunting the fastball.
Does that favor Martinez because he is effectively wild, throws a lot of pitches? I mean, his last start he walked 5. That was the second most walks he's had this year.
Well, it can be a downfall, especially with his secondary pitch, the changeup. His changeup and slider are very effective. So if he gets him looking for it, he'll do that.
He strikes out Escobar, but he made a mistake with the slider to this man, Mike Moustakas, who hits home run number 32 and ties the game.
Oh, may the Moose stay loose the whole series.
One, Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Tom Verducci with you, and Tom will be doing the national game tomorrow. And I just wanted to get your take on the I-70 series. And we always go back to '85 when they played for the World Championship, but two teams right now that are in contention.
Brings back memories for me. I was here covering that series in '85. I did the drive myself, stopped in Columbia on the way, got myself a little tour of the Mizzou campus. But yeah, I love the energy in the ballpark, but I got to tell you, I'm surprised there's as much red in the stands as I see here.
And there'll be a lot of blue at Busch Stadium come Wednesday and Thursday. Here is Greg Garcia, who played with Colton Wong at the University of Hawaii. Fouled off. And sometimes, Tom, we want to get a national perspective because the Royals were able to acquire 3 pitchers from San Diego. And of course, Dayton Moore was looking for a professional hitter and got Melky Cabrera, who had great success here in 2011. Your take on that?
I really like those additions. I think it's such a key period of the season for any club, but especially one hoping to get in the postseason. I call them finishing pieces. And every club after 4 months knows where the needs are. And I thought Dayton did a great job addressing those needs, especially with Melky Cabrera. I really like him defensively as well as offensively.
And you know, Tom, from a teammate's perspective, you're looking for any ways to find energy this time of year. And the best way, through my experience, was adding a player. When you add a player in that clubhouse, it changes the chemistry around, but also goes, the guys are all going, yeah, we got an extra arm, an extra strong arm, we got Melky. Oh yeah, so that brings energy, which really helps the team.
Leadoff walk by Garcia.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. That brings up two sides of the coin to me. In 1993, I saw what the Braves did once they got Fred McGriff, and the way they ran down the Giants in that great race. And this year, the reaction in Houston's clubhouse when they didn't make a big deal. Dallas Keuchel wasn't too happy that they really didn't add. I know they got Francisco Liriano, but they're the other side of the coin where they were looking for something big and it didn't come.
So that's an energy buster.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So look, it helps. Because of the grind of the sport, it's just such a grind every day that you're looking for any kind of energy. Last year it was the rally mantis for us. They found out, Billy Burns found a mantis on the top of his head. The crowd took it and they ran with it, and they ran off some wins too.
But I just wonder if Houston reminded their team that, hey, there is a time for revocable waivers. And Justin Verlander passed through those, and I'm sure Houston is still looking for pitching, and they have a very good minor league system.
That's a great point. Certainly doesn't preclude them to make a deal this month. You know, they kind of got caught at the deadline trying to get a deal for Zach Britton with the Orioles, and they were shopping that aisle almost the whole day, and when it didn't fall, and when it did fall through, the clock kind of ran out on them. So I think they are trying to get Verlander now through after the waiver period. Justin has passed through waivers. That's going to be a trade that would have to hurt, though. You're going to have to give up some top prospects, not just take on salary.
But the payoff could be a world championship. The Royals had to do that in 15 when they went after Ben Zobrist and Johnny Cueto and Johnny Gomes, and those guys were very important pieces to winning a world title that year.
Couldn't agree more. I look at the last 4 world champions. They all picked up a pitcher in July. It was Jake Peavy twice for the Giants, and then the Red Sox. Then it was Cueto, and last year, of course, Aroldis Chapman.
You know, they were showing the standings there. I saw a 15-game lead. It brought back bad memories. For me, with the Angels in 1995, we had a 13-game lead over Seattle, and it all evaporated by the end of the season. Ended up giving Seattle 3+ games. It was painful. We couldn't stop the bleeding. So anything can happen in baseball, especially this far out.
But think of it this way, Rex. You helped save baseball in Seattle.
You know, I had a lot of fun my years later, Tom, going through there and you know, being a broadcaster for the Angels, going on their air talking about, hey, look, you guys need to credit us for your ballpark here at Safeco Field. But that was really an interesting season. But you know, baseball, you just never really know. I mean, Houston's too strong. They've got good pitching and hitting. I would doubt they would evaporate that lead.
Tom, I do remember having a conversation with Dayton Moore in July of 2015, and I said, we're going to likely win the Central, but we have some pieces we probably need to win a world championship. And his response was perfect. He said, Fizz, I'll get them, but I won't do anything to mess up the chemistry we currently have in the clubhouse, which Rex and I are there every single day, is outstanding. This is a together team.
Well, Dayton certainly recognizes that too, that there's more than just the numbers on the stat sheet to put a club together. Guys, that's why I felt there was so much of an overemphasis on the free agents to be on this Kansas City team. People were jumping the gun about players they would have to move in the course of the season. No. Even when they were 10 games under and 500, back in May, I just think it's too professional a group. They played together so long, and that chemistry that you brought up, Steve, you can't disregard that.
Carpenter hits it in the air. Alex Gordon makes the catch, and there's one out. And Melky Cabrera maybe said it best the day he was acquired. I was visiting with him about being traded from Chicago to Kansas City, and he took his open hand and he brought it together in a fist, and he said, this is a team. They are together. And I think that says a lot, and that's why Dayton Moore went after him.
I agree, and I think even his game suits the Royals' style. He's going to be a tough out with runners on base. He's got a level stroke. I think Kansas City bought in a little bit more to the power element this year, and it cost them a little bit, and I think Melky gets them back to putting the ball in play.
Pressuring defenses. And when you pressure defense and you have good team speed, the Royals are up there again with their infield hits. Puts pressure on them, and then they throw the ball away, pulls the first baseman off the bag. That's a Royals rally. We've been seeing a lot of that this year. 33 come from behind wins, Tom. That's tops in Major League Baseball, largely because of putting the ball in play. But the bullpen out there that Ned's put together has all come together there. When they get down early in a game, the bullpen comes in, holds their opponents until the Royals can come back and get the win. It's been a nice formula for him so far this year, after being a huge question mark coming into the season, the bullpen.
Pham takes a rip at a 2-0 pitch. Melky will watch it bounce into the seats, and the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike. And Tom, how about St. Louis? They're only 3.5 games back of the world champion Chicago Cubs in the National League Central, but is that a mirage?
It's a good question. I've been so puzzled by this St. Louis team. They should be better. I think obviously here they're struggling just to get to 500. That could be, as you see the record right there, almost like a psychological hurdle for them. I mean, last year this time I think the New York Mets were 2 games under 500. They wound up playing postseason baseball. So by no means are they out of it. But Steve, to me, it's a team that it really has a hole in the middle of the lineup. They have some very good hitters, but they don't have that impact bat that sets the entire lineup.
Like Matt Holliday. But they also lost Johnny Peralta, who was a veteran. Stephen Piscotty has been sent down to AAA. Foul back.
Yeah, even Randall Grichuk went down for a while to the minor leagues. You're right. They've struggled there. I can understand how they cut the cord on Matt Holliday. At this point, more of an American League player in his career. And he's certainly hit on a hard time since he came back from his illness off the DL. But they missed that element for sure.
It's been since June 2nd when they last were at 500. So that's been a long time. They're trying to scrap and claw.
Pham will work the walk. 39th walk he has received this year, and Ian Kennedy struggling a little bit with his command in the 3rd inning, walking a pair. And we told you he threw 92 pitches in 4 innings of his last start against Baltimore. He's thrown 44 to get 7 outs of this one.
Well, you certainly have to be careful with DeYoung. I mean, he has shown tremendous power. He is as aggressive as they come. He can hit pitches even outside of the zone, but he will not concede anything close to the plate. You almost have to attack him like it's an 0-2 count.
Pure hitter. Kennedy's a fly ball pitcher. He has induced 8 ground ball double plays, but he's going with more breaking balls now. Dave Island talked with him several starts ago about the home runs that's been hit off of him. And 19 solo shots, but 12 just been solo shots. But he tried to convince him to bring in some more of a spin ball, bring a slider, bring a curveball in, and he's been doing that. It's kind of keeping him a little bit more off balance.
To me, Rex, it's a big trend in the game. We're seeing fewer and fewer fastballs. You know why? Fastballs get hit even at upper velocity. Hitters have adjusted to velocity.
You're right. That spinner's hard to hit.
Now, last time I checked, there were 5 teams that throw less than 50% fastballs. 2 years ago, nobody did in baseball. That's how quickly it's turned.
Yeah, but there is a tendency to look towards velocity. Jason Vargas certainly doesn't talk about that, but ground ball, second base, could be 2. They've got 1. Escobar's throw. Got him. St. Louis may check. Mike Matheny immediately raised his right hand.
Hey, little roll them over ham and eggs. We'll take it. Yeah, show me.
A legacy seat after serving as a sergeant in the Korean War. Bill returned home and continued his commitment to helping those around him. As part of his commitment to help, he has been an active member of the Neighborhood Watch program in Olathe, serving as co-captain. Now, in addition to his role as Neighborhood Watch co-captain, Bill has also volunteered his time at the Olathe Food Pantry and Mission Southside, helping those in need in any way that he can. What a great guy, Bill Anthony.
That's right, Bill. Way to give of your time.
Now Carlos Martinez facing Alex Gordon. Gordon had a rough Seattle series offensively, just 1 hit. He bounces this one foul, but my goodness, has he had success against the Cardinals. .333 in his career, 10 home runs in just 41 games.
And he's 1 for 3 off of Martinez in his career.
There's that off speed.
Equalizer. The whole key to good pitching is to get the hitter off balance. And when you have a plus fastball by Major League standards over 95 and you pull the string at 87, you do your job at getting them off balance. You're going to miss, especially if they're looking to swing.
Martinez has not walked 1. He walked 5 in his last start, losing to Milwaukee 3-2. And then he dots the outside corner at 95 miles an hour.
I'll say he dotted it. How about paint? Get the paintbrush out. He brushed that paint. That's a term that's used from hitters. They come in after a strikeout like that in the dugout and they'll say, he painted me on the corner there.
With a few other words thrown in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's Drew Butera. Drew will be starting a lot because of the injury suffered by Salvador Perez. Salvi talked with the media today, and he talked about that intercostal strain. They still don't know how long he'll be out. They really want to check tomorrow. He did get an injection in his side, but Drew really did a fine job when he took over late May last year when Salvi went down for about a week.
Holding his own, works hard.
He hits this one up the middle. Fielded by DeYoung.
Give it to him.
First base.
Oh, man. Good try. He wanted it in the worst way. Good tries, good hustle. And what a super play right there by DeYoung. That's nice. From his knees.
Ooh, I don't know.
Pretty close.
But doesn't have to enter the glove. It has to hit the back of the glove.
Yeah, but see, it was his left hand. He had a little alligator arm, a little short arm, but it didn't get fully extended. If he would have, or he would run maybe feet.
Now Whit Merrifield to right field. Only 9 pitches needed for Carlos Martinez to get 3 outs. This game is tied at 1 as we go to the 4th. Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. Beautiful evening in Kansas City. Cards and Royals tied at 1. Let's go to Joel.
Well, for Royals fans that may recognize the name Jose Martinez, that's because he had a historical season in the Royals minor league system in 2015, batting .384 for Omaha, Pacific Coast League record. This is one of the really nice, likable guys in the game, but the Royals designated him for assignment. It was a numbers crunch on May 18th, the following year, 2016. It's one of those, one door closes, another opens. They DFA'd him that day to make room to add Whit Merrifield to the 40-man roster, and I talked with Jose about that today. He said absolutely no hard feelings. I loved my time in this organization, loved my time with Omaha, and you know what? We always talk in the minor leagues about just getting an opportunity. So I was so happy for Whit to get his, and Bonifacio now, and Alexander. Those were 3 of his teammates, and grateful for the chance that he has in St. Louis. And for Alexander and Whit, they said great teammate, good guy, and amazing what he's able to do with that height. One other note, guys, remember that ball that went off of Jose Canseco's head? That was his father's hit back with Cleveland off of the head of Jose Canseco.
Well, good story, Joel. Thank you very much. And Jose Martinez gets a single to left center field and says thank you very much. He's a very animated guy. Now he's saying hello to Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, now watch Lorenzo Cain get to this ball. This is outstanding defense right here. He goes, takes a perfect angle, catches it, and is able to hold Jose to a single.
.384 he hit for the Omaha Storm Chasers in 2015, a franchise record. Now Yadi Molina. Yadi doesn't run that well, so perhaps if Kennedy can keep it down and Molina hits on top of it, we'll have the same result like we had in the third inning. A 4-6-3 double play that ended third. Nobody out here. And he went up the ladder.
Haas is not a small guy by any means, but look at Martinez standing next to him. Jose Martinez is 6'7". Wow. He's a big baseball player.
29 years young.
It's an Aaron Judge's league.
So he's gone slider, fastball, fastball.
Yadi's trying to hit that ball to right field. You could tell with that swing, he was a little tardy, but it's going to be late when you try to hit to that side. You got to wait till the ball travels close to the catcher's glove. If you're trying to pull, you want to get out in front of it, but he's trying to go the other way and move the runner.
So Kennedy did try and get him to chase a breaking ball down low.
See, Yadi's hits by direction. He likes to pull. There's no doubt about it, but he's a good situational hitter. He knows the game well. 2 strikes on him. He's just going to try to make some contact and find a hole. Can't be too specific when you're almost out of there.
Down the line. Martinez races to third. Molina to second base with a double. Nobody out.
Fastball, he challenged him in. Yadi pulls his hands in. That ball's 4 inches inside. Not a mistake at all. That's just great hitting. He's able to pull it in, keep the ball fair right by the diving Moustakas. Again, Cardinals getting Kennedy in trouble here in every inning. Nobody out, second and third. How can he get out of this one?
Facing a guy who tripled off of him last time up and scored on the sacrifice fly by Colton Wong.
Nice average with runners in scoring positions. 279.
Royals with their infield back, they'll give up a run to get an out.
Depends on how hard that ball struck and where it is struck. If Moose gets it, likely Martinez third probably told him to see the ball through the infield before you go. Don't just go on contact. Doesn't run all that well.
On a 2-0 fastball count, he throws a breaking ball. Just barely missed with that fastball.
Ooh, man, that was a big pitch. He wanted that one. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks will show it to you. Oh, man, that's a strike. Big difference. 2-2, 2-2, and 3-1. Big difference in that, not getting that pitch. The previous one.
So now the bases are loaded, and Drew Butera in a little bit of a conversation with Mike Malinsky. Martinez at third, Molina at second, Fowler at first. Wong the batter. He hit the sacrifice fly. Kennedy went up with a fastball. Now Wong goes to the shortstop, Escobar, who bobbles it safe all the way around, and that could have been a 6-4-3 double play with a run scoring. Instead, No outs.
Oh man, that's a tough chance. Ninth there on Escobar. Usually this is a routine play. One step to his left, just misjudged it. Tried to get the force anyway to salvage, but wasn't able to do it. Always hit hard, but Escobar, he's a Gold Glover. He normally handles those plays.
Yeah, the Royals have to get the outs they can get, and I say that because Hud, in that second inning of Game 1 yesterday, they were 2 out, runner at first base, and Danny Duffy picked off the runner, but they did not get the rundown.
Yeah, that would have been the third out. It
would have been the third out, and right after that, 4 runs scored, and the Royals lost by just 1.
Yep.
So here's Randall Grichuk. Renzo Cain made a terrific catch, first time up, running into the wall, chasing down Grichuk's drive. Oh, 0-2, and Randall is a guy who can strike out. He struck out 93 times this year, and get him to chase. He's only walked 19. Got to make a good pitch, and Kennedy with the options at 0-2. True call time. Barely foul, but boy, that's not the pitch you want to make on 0-2.
Yeah, that's for sure. You got a few pitches now. You're that far ahead. That was close. Big break there.
Struck him out with a high fastball.
Good selection. Make him swing out of that zone. With them loaded up, hitters, they want to knock those runs in, so they're going to be a little bit aggressive.
Now the number 9 batter, Greg Garcia, who walked to lead off the 3rd inning. Ball 1, good block by Butera. Molina now at 3rd base, doesn't run that well. Fowler at 2nd base, Wong at 1st. The Royals have turned a double play in this evening's ball game, and every time the Royals turn a double play, the next day McDouble sandwiches are $1 at McDonald's all this Royals season long. 3-0 to the number 9 batter. Garcia was on base 4 times yesterday against the Reds, double and 3 walks. He was taken all the way. He's hit 2 home runs this year.
He's 1 for 3 with them loaded.
Outside, and that will score a run. 4 walks in the game for Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, not good, especially the number 9 batter. Bases loaded, nowhere to put him.
Hey, Royals fans, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream the game on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. So you go from Greg Garcia to Matt Carpenter. Not at all what Ian wanted to do, but a single, a double, then a walk, then the error. A strikeout, and then a walk with the bases loaded to the number 9 batter.
Yep, he's a good hitter, especially here. And he is 4 for 6 with them loaded this year, with one of the team's grand slams. They got 2.
22 hits at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. 6 doubles, 3 home runs, highest average all time. How about ground ball hit right to an infield? They throw behind, and it hits the runner in the back, goes into left field. Everybody's going to advance, and this inning not going well at all for the Royals.
I believe Drew had him. If he could have just got the ball up and not hit him in the backside, they might have gotten him. He had the right idea. Just the throw was too close to the bag, a little bit too fine, and it cost him a run, and now takes him out of the double play.
Like he's lost a little bit of the command on his fastball.
Front shoulder flying open a little.
Wow, that is a pitch that was down and hammered by Carpenter for a 3-run home run, and it's now 7-1 St. Louis.
There are certain hot spots for left-handed hitters for the power, and one of them is right there, down and in. All he's got to do is just drop the barrel, and even though the pitch was down and it was, not badly located, Carpenter just did very little. Just dropped that, used that bottom hand, is able to drop the head and get some elevation, and it's like he's wanting that baseball.
Tommy Pham strikes out looking. A check of our Academy leaderboard shows you the Royals in interleague play, 5-5, averaging close to 5 runs per game, and their team ERA has been very good, 3.34 until tonight. An inning that has really turned into a nightmare with 2 walks, 2 errors, and basically offering up some opportunities for a good team in St. Louis.
It's amazing how quickly the wheels can fall off the cart, that's for sure, in baseball.
These are 2 teams that really know how to win. Of course, the Royals to World Series in back-to-back years, 14 and 15, and St. Louis averaging 92 wins the last 5 years, and last year they won 86, but it was the first time since 2010 that they did not go to the postseason. And they're the outside looking in, 3.5 games back, and probably no chance in the wild card with the strength of the National League West with Colorado and Arizona. Ball hit in the air, left center field. Gordon under it. He'll make the catch. But a very difficult inning for Ian Kennedy as he gives up 6 runs. Baseball lost a great man today, Don Baylor. Born in 1949, great hitter, great hitting coach as well. And Rex, you knew him very well. He was one of your coaches.
And he was a teammate before that. He was a New York Yankee, and he really inspired me to get stronger in the off season, and to know that 175-pound frame I had, I needed to be able to train myself and work harder. And actually, he would laugh at me in the batting cage when I was hitting and I couldn't get the ball out of the Yankee Stadium infield, and he would laugh. And I told myself, I'm not gonna let them laugh at me anymore. So I went home and I trained and I worked, and then I was fortunate later in my years, wearing the Cardinal uniform, to have him as my hitting coach. Very, very sad today.
Lorenzo Cain to center field. Fowler backing up. He'll make the catch, and there's one down to start the bottom of the 4th inning. What did he do particular to help you as a hitter?
Well, he really worked with my eye level on the curveball. Of course, everyone has a hard time hitting a curve, but I would flail and bail at the curve. So he would set up the hitting cage, or the net in front of me with a bucket of balls, and he would probably get 10 feet, 15 feet away from me. He would sit on the bucket and he would just flip curveballs up there. And he wanted me to read the curve. He wanted me to read the break and how eye level it was hittable. Shoulder level, belt level, it's going to be in the dirt. So he didn't want me to swing in any. He just wanted me to work on my eye level. So little things like that helped big time. But you know, Groove was a tremendous baseball player with great physical strength, put fear in a lot of people, played the game hard the right way. There were times when Don Baylor, after he would make an out against Scotty McGregor or Buddy Black, he would stand at the top stairs of the dugout and yell at the pitcher, "You challenge me next time. Don't be throwing me those curveballs." And I remember years later, I asked Buddy Black, "Buddy, did you ever hear Don Baylor yell at you? Did you ever hear him scream?" He goes, "Oh yeah, Hud, I did. And I could never look at him. I didn't even look that way." He was an intimidating baseball player, and really a fun guy with a good sense of humor.
Ned Yost was talking about Don Baylor today because he said when Ned was catching at Milwaukee, Don Baylor would be at first base, and he said, "Please don't hit a ball in the gap where Baylor could score," because he would come in like a locomotive into home plate.
Oh yeah, he had no fear. Stay fair.
Hosmer to left field and deep and gone. Number 18 for Haas.
Nice. We've seen Haas feather those balls down that line for homers before. And Lorenzo Cain, the hitter before him, laced one to dead center field. So the Royals, they have comeback ability, and Haas says, I can do this. If it just would not slice, foul, and it did not. Very good swing.
And Eric, you know, he has that ability to go to the opposite field, now getting love from his teammates. But look at how difficult he's to defend. He's an equal opportunity employer, and now Melky goes down the line. He'll wind up at second base with a double. Royals rallied back from a 7-0 deficit in Game 1 yesterday, only to lose by 1 run, 8-7, and he has his fans in the stands, the Milkmen. There they are.
Clever. Love it.
It sure is.
Yep.
You know, we saw a lot of that in 14 and 15. Now Mike Moustakas off the glove of Martinez. He has time, and then Carpenter bobbles the baseball, so everybody's safe. I thought Cabrera might advance, but he stayed put at second base. I think his angle was rather awkward. He didn't realize how far the ball rolled from Martinez. So it'll be an error charge to the first baseman.
Yeah, but you know, even after you see that ball hit his glove, you've got to advance to third base on that. Melky, he had plenty of time to get to third, but you know what? They're down by 5 runs. His run doesn't mean a whole lot, but it'd be easier to score from third base in less than 2 outs.
3 errors already in this game. 2 by Kansas City, now 1 by St. Louis, and here is Brandon Moss.
You know, the Royals, they have a no-quit mentality with their ball club. 33 come from behind wins. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Bullpen deserves a lot of that credit, but also so does the offense. The offense, they've got power. They have the ability to get right back in this game, especially here, 1 swing of the bat.
Whit Merrifield got them started last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, in Game 1, hitting a 2-run home run. Then the Royals scored 3 more in the 5th. And a home run by Moustakas in the 8th to draw within 1, but they would just fall 1 run short. Now Moss fouls it off, 1-1.
Talked about how Moss, his resurgence, he's getting his average back up there. He's hitting for more power. He's not swinging as hard, especially against a hard thrower like Martinez. You swing at 75%. Let that fastball provide the power.
And he went after that changeup. That will leave the count at 2-2. So you go from 96 in your fastball to an 89 changeup. Tough to time.
But it was elevated. It gives the hitter a slight chance if he's not too far out in front.
Three and 2.
That's right. There you go. A little former Raleigh Cat going here.
Challenged him at 98.
And
Brandon pulled it.
Yeah, he's out in front of that. Like we were talking about with Tom Verducci when he was up here. There's no velocity out there that can blow by hitters consistently. They catch up to it. They like it. Hitters would rather have a straight hard one than a changeup or a slider here.
Good battle.
Put a little changeup on him. Moss did well just to make some connection there. Just a little bit of ticky too.
You know, he talked about his success taking off when he went from trying to swing at 100% to 80%.
Yep.
What do you do with 2 strikes? Back off to 70?
75, 80%. Don't overswing. Put it in play.
And there is that good off-speed pitch, and he strikes out Brandon. So 2 outs now in the 4th inning.
Okay, he saved the slider for last. Fastball, fastball, changeup, changeup. Now he put a little different spin on it and was able to get him out.
Obviously his command much better than it was at Milwaukee, his last start on Tuesday when he walked 5. Melky still at second, Moustakas at first, Escobar the batter. Strike 1. And Hud, back on April 15th at Yankee Stadium, Carlos Martinez had a game where he struck out 11 and walked 8. He became the first to record both those marks since 1993. A guy by the name of Randy Johnson did it. So electric stuff, but can be wild.
That'll work. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Eske's been money.
Another strike at a 1-2 count.
Got some cheese at the knees right there. Firm. Pham with a good arm in left field. He's got 7 outfield assists. Fowler in center has a couple. Grichuk has 3 in right.
Rolls went back to the mound. And that's the final out. But Eric Hosmer goes deep for the 18th time this year. The Royals have cut it to 5 at 7-2. August 8th for our next T-shirt Tuesday when the Royals take on the Cardinals. The first 10,000 fans at the gates will receive a special Show Me State Showdown T-shirt. Purchase your tickets today at royals.com/T-shirts. T-shirt Tuesday. Ian Kennedy here in inning number 5 face the guy who started his troubles in the 4th, Jose Martinez, with a single. That was followed by a Molina double, Fowler walk, an error. After a strikeout, another walk, and then a 3-run home run. 2 errors the Royals also suffered in the inning. And there's a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Jose Martinez.
Kennedy, fastball averages right at 92 miles an hour, but it helps a little bit when he's changing speeds with his fastball. He'll go 88 to 93 at times, and that's important. That's why he throws over 61% of fastballs. Right there is where he gets them out.
1 out. Well, Don Baylor won the 1979 American League MVP. We talked about his passing today. The question is, who finished 2nd and 3rd that season? Don Baylor with an outstanding year, and he was a guy who would crowd home plate HUD. He would get hit by pitches, and then he would do whatever it took to help his team win.
Yeah, you know, and one time up in Toronto, I saw him check swing and broke the bat right in half. That's how
strong.
That's how strong he was. His hands were really strong, and he went to offer for the pitch, and he held back, and the bat head just fell off. Incredible, the hand strength in a lot of these big leaguers.
George Brett seemed like every single year had a great year. He might have been in that 1979 mix, although the 80 season was the remarkable one for George when he almost hit 400.
Yeah, good call. That might be a winner.
There's a ball up the middle. Escobar has it. He twirls and throws out Yadi Molina for the 2nd out.
Asking Escobar many times what's his best tool. He's got a great throwing arm. He's got excellent hands. He tells me without hesitation, my footwork, my feet. My feet are the most important thing, and he's right with the shortstop. Look how he moves them. So agile. He's able to get his body in a position where his arm slot comes right down through. Beautiful. He's an artist.
Now Fowler coming off the disabled list. He's been on base twice with a triple and a walk. Breaking ball in. You know, I've been thinking the '79 World Series, that was Pittsburgh and Baltimore, right?
Yep.
Was there an Oriole on that team that had an outstanding year?
How about Bobby Grich? Nope. Frank Robinson still playing then?
Now the 1-2, and it is an off-speed pitch taken nicely by Dexter Fowler to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's lined sharply to left. Gordon gets there and makes the catch. How about Rod Carew? Nope.
Get Rod in there.
Baseball is brought to you by Jeep. The official vehicles of summer are ready for whatever summer brings. Hurry into your nearest Jeep dealer for the clearance event of the summer. Cardinal and Royals sitting together.
That's what it's all about.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, well, they look like they were having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. One ball, one strike to Alex Gordon. Carlos certainly has been one of the top young pitchers in the National League the last couple of years. 2015 he won 14 games. Last year won 16. There's a chopper over the head of Martinez, but right to Wong, who throws out Alex. One down. Our Quicken Loans rocket arms, Carlos Martinez, who throws between 96 and 99 miles an hour, certainly with a rocket arm. And you can see what he's done. Opponents batting 198, right-handers 198. He's allowed the fewest home runs, the fewest extra base hits to right-handed batters since the beginning of the 16 season. Now a right-hander in Drew Butera, who almost got a hit his first time up, grounding one up the middle. Fine play by Paul DeYoung. Drew diving head first.
Quite a contrast between Martinez's last start and this one. Last start in Milwaukee, he only went 5 innings. He threw 102 pitches. That's where he is now. He's just thrown 60. So he was a little bit off of his command, I'll say, but now he's hitting the spots, especially when he has a lead like that.
5 strikeouts now for Carlos. Fans, make sure you celebrate every fan's favorite ballpark food at the Heart of America Hot Dog Festival on Saturday, August 12th, hosted by the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. The event will feature live musical performances and concession areas serving all the specialty hot dogs your stomach can handle. All proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. For more information, visit NLBM.com. And that is a great cause. Kansas City very proud to host the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And in the same building as the Jazz Museum. Great history in this town.
And then not too much further up the street, you have the Urban Academy, the Kansas City Royals.
There's a line drive base hit by a right-hander as Whit Merrifield comes through with a 2-out single.
Right back up the middle is the biggest hole. There's a fastball riding in. Look at the teeth on the heater. The heater started out on the outside part of the plate, drifted right back over. Whit with a big hit. That's right. For her. Nice sign. He appreciates it.
That is up here in the booth applauding.
That's right.
Applauding that sign.
Love it. The players do too. We do. Like showing them.
Fastball runs up and in on Lorenzo. Ball 1.
Locaine hit a rocket to center field his last time up. Laced it. Fowler was playing deep. Caught it in the warning track on the line.
19 hits his last 10 games. And there's the nasty slider.
Perfect location there. Starts in, looks like it's going to be a good pitch to hit, falls off. And hard to pick up the rotation if you're a hitter with that slider. Sometimes you can see the dot. That doesn't help you that much, though.
So he throws it again. Hosmer homered his last time up. He's hoping Kane can get on to give him another chance. Martinez has allowed 2 home runs in the game, both to left-handed batters, Moustakas and Hosmer. And it bangs off of his backside. Lorenzo's going to be safe. That's a hit.
Locane, he's a master at the infield hit. That ball's off of Martinez's backside. 15th infield hit for Locane. That's right. If you have legs, you have speed, use it. Now, some players don't have that opportunity. They're not as fast or fleet of foot, don't get many infield hits. They have to hit their average, they have to hit it. But look, you know, that ties Whitley Merrifield for the team lead in infield hits.
Ball one. Now it's time for Cricket's something to smile about.
Center cut heater. We showed you. His homers are even. 6 in left, 6 in right, 6 in center.
He's pitching Hosmer rather carefully, and a lot of teams pitching firm inside to try and tie him up so he doesn't get those long arms extended.
Yeah, you're not going to lay him a cookie in there. That last home run was right down the middle. That's a heater. Haas, he knows what to do with those. See him showing the fastball grip there. He's showing it. Haas is looking at it. Anytime the pitcher shows the baseball before he pitches, believe me, that hitter is looking at that. He wants to see it now. Lilliquist, pitching coach, to come out and take a check on Mr. Martinez. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Derek Lilliquist, who was with the Atlanta Braves organization when Ned Yost was the bullpen coach. Derek at times was their number 5 starter among that great rotation there with Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine. Now it's Carlos Martinez going tonight. Walker tomorrow night here at Kauffman Stadium. Leake and Lynn. The Royals will miss Adam Wainwright.
Okay, now this is the time to get him, even though there is 2 outs. See if Haas can somehow find a way with 2 ahead in the count, 2-0. I think Haas knows that it's not about pulling the ball against Martinez. Is tough to have to just go the opposite way, center field.
97 with some good run to it. Two on, 2 out. 7-2 St. Louis. The bottom of the 5th. So Martinez has fought back in the count after falling behind 2-0.
Going with those sliders in, Haas doing a great job of just getting a piece of it, waiting for the mistake. Those borderline pitches, they're tough to put in play, but when a hitter can foul the ball off, that's good. Hopefully he gets a mistake. Martinez again showing Haas the ball.
Wong will take care of Hosmer. The Royals lead 2. We head to the 6th inning of play. St. Louis and Carlos Martinez with a 5-run lead. For the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile, the Milwaukee Brewers open a home-and-home series with the Twins tonight. They trail the Cubs in the National League Central by only a half game. Trevor Williams tonight versus the Tigers. 7 innings, only 1 hit allowed. Giancarlo Stanton blasted his 37th home run of the year. He leads the major leagues. Now Ian Kennedy, who was roughed up in the 4th, giving up 6 runs. Still out there in the 6th. Strike 1. Bottom of the order has hurt Kansas City. Fowler on 2 of his 3 times. Foul back. Colton Wong with a sacrifice fly, also reached on an error, so an RBI and a run scored by the number 7 batter. And the number 9 batter, Greg Garcia, with 2 walks, 1 with the bases loaded, and also scored on the home run by Carpenter. That ball hit in the air, shallow center field. Escobar drifting out and makes the catch for the first out. Well, the sweet life with Salve. How about that? Enter to win at royals.com/Salve for a private meet and greet with Salvador Perez. You can attend batting practice, get an exclusive VIP suite experience at the game September 28th. Compliments of Price Chopper. How about that? That'd be fantastic because he is such a delight to be around.
You know, I do all my shopping at Price Chopper, and I see Salve's. Oh.
Stroked well. Off the top of the wall, played well by Gordon.
Stayed in. Ooh, that was a line shot if I've ever seen one. Whew. He gets under that a little bit more, and he would have had him one or another one. Grichuk sitting on 13, was hoping it was 14. That's a hanging little slider. Actually didn't hang too high. It's a little bit below the belt, but he caught it cleanly.
Peter Moylan and Mike Minor beginning to warm in the Kansas City bullpen.
Yeah, he's smiling because that felt good. When you connect like that, they'll take the 20th double.
And that's despite spending 1 month down in AAA. Now it is Buchter and Moylan.
Exit velocity 106 off of that Grichuk double.
In the air, left side. Gordon sets up. Grichuk bluffs the move, knowing that Gordon has one of the best arms in the game. Does not go. 2 out. Let's revisit our sprint trivia question. Don Baylor won the 1979 American League MVP award. Who finished 2nd and 3rd? It's got to be a Baltimore Oriole. They were in the World Series against Pittsburgh. Now George Brett, obviously one of those guys.
Okay, Kenny Singleton is the answer. You helped me with that, and I thought about some great Orioles then, and Singy, good friends with him still, as he's a broadcaster for the Yankees, and we're friends. And he said that he had that opportunity to win. But
watching that World Series, and it seemed like it rained every single game.
Well, that wasn't the only sad news that we got today. Another teammate of mine that made a huge impact on me in my year in '97 with the Philadelphia Phillies was Darren Dalton. I was sorry for him to leave too. He was a leader. I was brand new to the Phillies, and we had just had our special needs little boy Cade. He was brand new. He was just a few months old, and the Phillies fans did a great job of sending me fan mail and trying to encourage me and congratulating me for having a child with a disability. And I remember opening up that mail in the middle of that locker room, and I was brand new to the team, and we didn't have iPads or phones back then. And I was opening the mail, and I was getting a little emotional at some of the encouragement that I was getting. And I looked at Darren Dalton across the locker, and he was looking at me. He was reading a newspaper, but he was looking over his paper at me. And when I made eye contact with him, he acted like he was reading the paper. And I said, "Hey, Dutchie, sorry, I don't want to bring the clubhouse down at all. I'm sorry about what I'm going through. And he says, Hud, we got your back here in Philadelphia, man. You're on our team. We got your back. What you and your wife are going through is real. You hang right in there. We're here to support you. And that type of leadership that he brought to the team, and many of his teammates in the Phillies during his years there will tell you that you got to have a guy like that on your teams. Really sorry to see those guys pass on.
Dalton, of course, would be going to the Marlins, and they desperately needed leadership, and he would help them to a world championship. And there is a strike 3 call. So Kennedy gets out of the inning, not allowing a run, but trails by 5. This must means Melky Cabrera is coming up. Cardinals lead at 7-2, but here comes the milkman. And the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Del Schweihart from Lawrence. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Del, you get yourself $100. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Del will win 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Melky Cabrera. He has grounded out and doubled 1 for 2. 7 hits his last 5 games. First pitch inside, ball 1.
Oh, well, we knew that was going to happen. Little house divided here.
Love is a many splendored thing.
Doing the next 4 days.
Well, I'm from Kansas City, and I married a St. Louis gal.
There you go.
She's now a Royals fan, though.
Better believe that.
Fouled off. And we got married, Hud, 1 month before the '85 World Series.
How did that go then?
Oh man, I was whining like a big dog when the Royals were down 2 games to none, and she was a much better sport when the Royals wound up winning in 7.
Oh, I'm sure she was.
Oh yeah. Good pitch there, changeup that drifted away from Melky Cabrera and struck him out. Fans, show your support for your boys in blue and Royals charities as you drive around town with a personalized Royals license plate. Reserve your customized Royals plate with a $35 donation to Royals charities. This offer is only for Missouri residents. To register, visit royals.com/license plates. Here's Moose. He's been on twice with a home run and reached on an error. Time for our Ram drive of the game.
Oh, slider. Moose caught it in a perfect spot. I mean, we showed Carpenter's homer off of Kennedy. Very similar spot. Left-handers like that ball down and in. Turned on it.
So Martinez is staying away, but Mike hits it well to center field, and Fowler got a great break and runs it down for out number 2.
Fowler having a good time. Mike off of the disabled list. Rather be playing any day of the week than on in Kemp Snoopy. Easy speed.
He was one of the real leaders for the Chicago Cubs last year, and even though he was a guy who only hit .276 for the Cubs, boy, it seemed like he made clutch catches or had clutch hits. And I think they miss his leadership with Chicago. Obviously, the Cubs trying to grind out another Central title. They're a half game up on Milwaukee and 3.5 up on the Cardinals, and there's a ball to left field that will be caught, and Martinez has gone 6, leads 7-2. Pham, Young, and Martinez when we come back. Royals and Cardinals, the I-70 series. Kansas City, St. Louis, and Lorenzo Cain made a nice running catch, but Martinez has really been tough. Royals have belted 2 home runs, one by Moustakas, one by Hosmer, but both solo shots, that's been the dagger. Matt Carpenter's blast.
Yep, 6 runs in the 4th inning. That hurt.
Our Chevy call to the bullpen, that Aussie Peter Moylan. Look at that, last 32 games he has been flat brilliant.
Oh, Aussie. Sinker, slider, 2 pitches. Places it well, and every pitcher will tell you, and hitters will too, location is everything for a pitcher. Where you put it makes a big difference. Those sliders away off the plate. 2-seamer in. You see the late quick break coming in like that. He's got east and west movement even at an inch or 2 for a hitter. That's the difference between the sweet spot and a jam shot off the handle of the bat or off the end. Pham, that was just protection there. Sets up the slider.
To the right side, Whit Merrifield. 1 out. And Rex, it almost seems like he throws a pitch that is an illusion that it's going to be a strike, because it always seems like offensive players, opponents, are stretching their strike zones against Peter.
Largely because of the sidewinding motion, the angle of the arm down there for right-handers especially, because you get mesmerized by the release point. It comes out behind you, and so you're trying to track it, and it just floats. It floats across the strike zone. There's that. That's the 2-seamer. That's the one that he sets up the floater. The spinning slider, the frisbee type slider, is the hardest one for a right-handed hitter to be able to hit, because it It's slow. Here it comes. Watch him. Got to keep that front shoulder in if you're going to have any success. Good pitch. Got him off the end.
Lorenzo Cain, 2 out.
Let's watch the pitch move. Let's check it out. Now see the hitter. He's already geared up for it, but there it's kind of floating away and away, and it's off the end of the bat. That's not the sweet part. That's the one that he starts the middle and it finishes off.
Now Jose Martinez. There is that spinner you were talking about.
And then if you have a lot of moving parts like Martinez, man, it's tough. Once you commit, you spin you like a top.
Did his dad have a similar batting style?
I see a lot of similarities. His father was a real happy, fun guy, man. We miss him. Jose wasn't old enough to see his daddy play, but his daddy would be proud of Jose.
Peter Moylan needed only 8 pitches to get through the 7th. Bottom 7 we go. Royals need 5 to tie. In the 4th inning, and Carlos Martinez has allowed 2 solo home runs to Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer, both left-handers. He's now allowed 12 home runs to left-handers this year. 7-2 in game 1 of this 4-game series. 2 here in Kansas City, 2 back in St. Louis. Tomorrow night at the K, well, I understand they have plenty of tickets available for Jason Vargas matching up with Michael Wacha. Strike 1. You know, Carlos Martinez was very good friends with the Royals' late pitcher Yordano Ventura, and both of them were called Little Pedro growing up. Their idol, of course, was the great Hall of Fame pitcher Pedro Martinez. And they have some similarities, the physique and pitching mechanics to Pedro Martinez. Neither one of them that tall. Both Ace and Carlos 6 feet tall, but electricity in their right arms, the ability to throw upper 90s with the fastball. Escobar off balance, flies out to center field. And this is something special for both of us. Calling all yogis. Join the Royals for the 3rd annual Yoga Day on Sunday, September 10th. This theme ticket package includes a pregame 1-hour yoga practice on the outfield grass, a Royals-themed yoga mat, and a light breakfast at Rivals. You'll also have a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins for that afternoon game. Purchase your ticket today at Royals.com/theme ticket. And I'll be there with Nama Stacy.
Will you?
Are you going to do a yoga move right now? Yes, you are.
Let me get my foot up there, Fizz.
Very good. Very good. Way to go. I'm proud of you.
Nearly kicked the chair over getting that leg up there, but I'll tell you, it helps with the flexibility.
Oh, my.
Now, I wish I would have known yoga in my playing days. It would have helped me a lot.
Swung on and missed. Down goes Gordon. That's 7 strikeouts for Martinez. Now Drew Butera, robbed of a hit on a fine play by Cardinals shortstop Paul DeYoung in the 3rd inning. And he goes after the first pitch, pops it up right side, long run for the right fielder, and he'll make the catch. Randall Grichuk. Only 8 pitches needed for Carlos Martinez. We head to the 8th inning of play. St. Louis 7-2 over Kansas City. Is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. And you can see it is sold out. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you. 38,478 at Kauffman Stadium to watch the I-70 series that is the Royals and Cardinals. St. Louis jumped on Ian Kennedy for 6 runs in the 4th inning. Royals suffered 2 errors in that frame, and Ian also walked a couple. Carpenter with the big hit, a home run. Now Yadi Molina with his 2nd hit, and he stays hot. He now has 9 hits on this recent road trip.
That's a sinker. It stayed up. Even though it showed it on the corner, it still was elevated a tad.
So with the lefty Dexter Fowler coming up, Ryan Buchter will come out of that bullpen. Please don't miss Girls Night Out on Friday, September 8th. VIP packages are still available, which include early entry for activities and entertainment in the outfield experience, as well as a Royals-themed ladies' tote bag. Proceeds from the event will benefit the American Heart Association Go Red for Women. Purchase your VIP tickets today at Royals.com/Girls Night Out. Dexter Fowler, a switch hitter. Royals wanted to turn him around because he only hits .211 from left-handers like Ryan Buchter. And this is our Chevy call to the bullpen. Ryan .302 in his 47 appearances this year, most of them with the San Diego Padres.
Fastball, cutter. Maybe a little slider there. Dexter, though, he's good at hitting left-handed pitching. Cutter is in on hands of righty's work for a double play ball. Jam. Trying to jam him.
Ryan has not pitched since Friday night when he allowed both an inherited run and a run of his own in the 7th inning. But he did earn his first win with the Royals last Thursday versus Seattle, throwing one pitch and got one out. That ball line to Mike Moustakas.
They call it the reaction position because you got to react quickly. Especially when a left-hander is up and a right-handed hitter comes in there, he's going to more chances of him to pull the ball. Moose had plenty of web in his glove for that one.
Lefty Colton Wong. Royals with 3 lefties in their bullpen, and Buchter, Minor, and Alexander. 5 right-handers: Maurer, Herrera, Feliz, Moylan, Soria. That ball hit well, right center field, and gone.
Wong rarely gets cheated when he swings the bat. Just his 2nd of the season. And it was a no-doubter. Let's see where it was. Ooh, man, right down the middle at 88. Center cut middle.
Now the right-hander Grichuk. Royals have really been hurt by the bottom of the St. Louis order. It's the 3rd time that Wong has been on. 1-1. Grichuk, formerly a first-round pick of the Angels back in 2009. 24th player taken that year overall. Right behind him, Michael Trout. Was able to get the outside corner, and it's a 3-2 count to Grichuk.
That was the first earned run off of Moylan since June 25th. That's pretty good, huh?
And that's from a guy who was not even considered to make the bullpen when spring training started. He was a late add. He had a good year with the Royals last year. Really liked his time here. Dayton Moore stayed with him, and he finally signed just before spring training, and then won a stay. A fine performance in spring training. We're in the 8th. St. Louis with a 9-2 lead. Cardinals scored a run in the second inning. The Royals tied it on a Moustakas home run in the second, but St. Louis broke it open with 6 runs in the 4th. The only other run by the Royals, an Eric Hosmer solo home run. Two-third. 2 out. Now Buchter must face Greg Garcia, who has 2 big walks in this game. One in that 6-run 4th. And he swings and misses at the first pitch slider. And this is a guy we told you was the 7th round draft pick of the Cardinals in 2010 out of Hawaii, where his college teammate was Colton Wong. Now is an infield teammate. He has a brother, Drew, who plays in the Chicago White Sox system. And his grandfather, the great Dave Garcia.
Yep.
Great guy.
Do you know his dad was my first double play combination in Oneonta, New York in rookie ball?
I did not know that.
His dad, Dave, went to Arizona.
I know his grandfather, Dave, was just one of the nicest people you would ever meet. Managed both the Angels and the Cleveland Indians.
And Dave Sr., I met him at that 3-month summer in Oneonta. Sitting in the front row watching Dave.
And now their grandsons both playing pro ball. And son. Buchter is able to strike out Greg Garcia, but got jumped by Colton Wong, who belts a 2-run home run. It's 9-2 St. Louis. Merrifield will start things. By Ford, going further so you can. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. All Cardinals tonight. 9-2 they lead. Martinez trying to go 8. But Merrifield with a fly ball to right will be the first out at the bottom of the 8th.
You know, when this game started, I wasn't sure how this matchup would go with the Royals with Martinez. He's effectively wild. We talked about the walks as we see a beautiful full moon tonight. He had 5 walks in his last start against Milwaukee. Now Milwaukee's offense, they're a little more patient. They're 7th in the league in walks. We're 15th, and we're not patient. And so he's only had 1 3-ball count this whole game.
Looks like Kane's going to have his second infield hit.
Got his 15th and now 16th infield hit. He'll take it. Little chopper. Martinez, nice job of that attempt there, but there's no chance. You want to let Garcia try to take that if you can and not distract him. And Yachty went out. The reason he went out there is to give Martinez a little extra breathing room.
Zach Duke is starting to warm in the St. Louis bullpen. Hosmer hit an opposite field home run back in the 4th. Coming inside, but he left it up. St. Louis took 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. Trying to win game 1 of this 4-game series with Kansas City. There's a chopper back to the mound, bobbled by Martinez, and Hosmer saying no way.
Yeah, he hit it twice. Glad first base umpire saw that. Brian Blake. Look at that. See that? He hit twice. Look at his eyes.
How do you do that? Oh my goodness. He could try that 100 times, could never do it again.
Get off balance like that. Sometimes you just want to get that bat head out there just to get a little tick of the ball.
Well, he got him off balance again. Picked up by Carpenter, who records the out, so 2 down, and Kane goes to second base in the play. Fans, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play Major League Baseball action on consoles and mobile. RBI Baseball is packed with your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com and get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
A couple of 3 short innings as far as pitches go.
Changeup misses outside to Melky. Cabrera double back in the 4th. Sandwiched around that double, a ground out and strikeout. To the right side, fielded by Carpenter, and he'll get it to Martinez, and we are through 8 here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Cardinals 9, Royals 2.
9, Royals 2. Top of the 9th. Let's show you our Honda plays of the game. It's been Matt Carpenter's night, no question. He led off the game with his 26th double on the season. Then he golfs this shot, his 15th home run, a 3-run bomb. Back in the 4th inning, where the Cardinals got 6 runs, and that was the difference. That's our Honda plays of the game. Matt Carpenter, he's got it going on tonight.
And he will be now taken out of the game, and with a 7-run lead, they want to give him an inning off. So the new hitter will be Voit. Oh, and he gets hit in the foot by Ryan Buchter. That's a painful pinch hit.
Sure is. Voit 5 for 12 off the bench as a pinch hitter. Couple RBIs. Hang with him. That fastball looked like Buchter slipped and got him right above the right ankle. Third time he's been hit all year.
Now Tommy Pham gets it on his hands, pops it up. Merrifield will make the play, and there's 1 down. Royals likely will lose a little ground to the Cleveland Indians, who are idle tonight. The Indians' lead will likely be 3 games after this evening. Royals led Tampa Bay by a half game. And Seattle by a game and a half before the night began. Cardinals will be back at 500. And they started the night 3.5 games behind the Chicago Cubs. 8 games back at the wild card, which is going to be very difficult. Teams like Colorado and Arizona in front of them. Mike Matheny, he charges on, and he'll tell you the offense has been very inconsistent. We talked about that earlier, Rex, with so many newcomers like Pham and DeYoung and Martinez and Garcia. They don't have that stalwart in the middle like a Matt Holliday.
Well, and if they didn't get any help by the deadline, maybe they can add a bat at some particular point. But even if you don't, you're still 3.5 games out of first place with 50-something games to go. So if you're in that clubhouse at all, and you're Matheny, and you're one of those veteran players, you're saying, fellas, let's go. We are in this to win.
Well, the one thing they do have is they have a solid rotation with Wainwright, Waka, Martinez, Leake, and Lynn.
Well, you know, they didn't make any moves at the deadline, so obviously management believes in the players that they have. So lots of times that's the case.
That one's belted deep to left and gone. Three home runs by St. Louis, 2 off Buchter.
DeYoung with his 16th. That's the shortstop, by the way. That's not your left fielder. That's a shortstop that is not a punch and Judy type hitter.
His 16th home run this year.
Yeah, young man, he's got some pop.
Now a flare to center field, a base hit by Jose Martinez. St. Louis with an 11-2 lead in game 1 of the I-70 series. Jose with a couple of hits. Carson Kelly will be the batter for Yadi Molina. To short, and the double play, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. All St. Louis, they lead it 11-2. Has the lead on Kansas City. Bottom of the 9th inning. It's time for our University of Kansas injury report. Kevin Segrist placed on the 10-day disabled list yesterday with left forearm tendonitis in 39 relief appearances this year, a 4.98 ERA. So they bring on other arms, some that are difficult to pronounce. Voigt is not. He's playing first base. Carson Kelly is not. He's the new catcher, but the new pitcher is Sam Tuivailala.
Tuivailala.
6'1" right-hander out of San Mateo. There's the way you spell it.
Hey, I just call him Sam.
There you go.
There you go.
He is not allowed to run in his last 7 appearances.
Well, better tune those bats up. Although Carlos Martinez, he had some good hard fastballs. So does Sam. Let's start him off with a little curveball. He's got a fastball mid to upper 90s.
Really good athlete in Northern California, quarterback of his high school football team, point guard of the basketball team, and the man on the baseball team, both pitching and as their shortstop. St. Louis got him 3rd round 2010 out of Aragon High School in San Mateo.
That's called a short armor here. Kind of shot puts it up there. Short arm, firm, gets on you quickly. Nice run on that fastball. It's got a cutter. I just think the opposite field here.
96 with some late run. Foul back. Three and two. It was a 1-1 game until the 4th when St. Louis scored 6 off Kennedy. Royals rallied with a home run by Hosmer in the 4th. Then the Cardinals broke it open with 2-run home runs in the 8th and 9th and lead it 11-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. And that is a strikeout for Tuivailala. Stay with us because Boulevard Royals Live will be coming your way after the ball game with Joel and Monty. Cards bring their hot bats to Kansas City, and a Game 2 preview. We'll be talking about Jason Vargas and Michael Wacha. Brandon Moss with a shot to deep center. And that's a long one. Way back. Number 15 for Brandon Moss.
Good swing, nice and easy. Didn't try to overdo it. Sam gave him a fastball up. Swung about 75, 80% maybe. Let's see. It's hard to tell there. He could tell us. Probably 80% swing.
He gets that back underside, and it really carries.
Sure does.
Now Escobar. The Royals with 3 home runs in the game. Now they have blasted 140, just 28 from tying the franchise record with plenty of games left. Escobar with just 2 hits his last 27 times up to see his batting average drop from the mid-230s to 223.
426 was the distance on the tape.
426.
On the homer. Yep.
Reading a story earlier today, Hud, where there are 9 teams still battling for entry into the postseason, and the story said that the Royals have the most favorable strength of schedule. Their
like to hear that.
Have a winning percentage of just barely over 47%.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good nugget there.
Just keep winning, and there's a swing and a miss. Ball gets away. Throw by Kelly is in time for the strikeout. So Tuivailala needs 1 more out, and he'll go after Alex Gordon, who's 0 for 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts. Fouled off. All 3 home runs by the Royals tonight by left-handers. Moustakas, Hosmer, and Moss. St. Louis wins game 1 of the I-70 World Series with the Cardinals with an 11-3 win over Kansas City.